Hey guys, it's time to get on the phones. It's time to start calling sellers. So, welcome back. This is episode number 5 of 0 to 100,000 with our boy Jonah here.
Yes, sir.
We're going to start making some money. Now is time. So, up until this point, we've talked about wholesaling. Hopefully, you've watched the free wholesaling course. We've gone and done driving for dollars. We went out one time. How many times have you been out since then?
At least 8 or 9 times.
Cool. So we're using, of course, the Deal Machine app, which the link is down below here so that you can download that and get a free 7-day trial. But we're using Deal Machine. We're actually taking a photo of the property, logging it into the CRM, and that is building our list of leads. With that, we're going to do 3 different things. Okay, 1, we're going to use Deal Machine to send a postcard to all of those property owners, right? Remember, these are properties that look distressed, that maybe boarded up or had tall grass or trash or whatever it is, right? Properties that looked like somebody wanted to sell them, or the property was neglected and hopefully they want to sell. So we are going to send postcards to all of them, and those postcards will go out probably every 4 to 6 weeks. We'll just continually keep dripping on top of them. Also, and this is what we're going to talk about in today's episode, we are going to text those sellers, and then we are going to cold call them. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the scripts for calling and texting. We're actually going to text first and then call. And then if you want a copy of this, I guess it's about a 6-page script, then all you have to do is DM me with the word script and your email, and I will send it over to you. Or just comment below script and I'll make sure that we get it. This is our script that we've kind of developed after doing this for 1,600 deals. So, okay, cool. So let's begin. Let's talk about this a little bit. When you call somebody, a lot of times, if you're not somebody in their phone book, you're going to come up as spam. So a friend of mine, Nick Perry, had this great idea. He's tried it in his business and it worked amazing. And that is, if you text the person first with your name, then Apple and Android will oftentimes recognize that phone number with your name and say, this is who is calling. So we're going to text first and then we will call. Because again, remember, in every part of our business, we want to play all of our aces. We want to do every single thing that we can to possibly get a hold of them. So we're going to call, we're going to text, we're going to call, and then we're going to also send postcards. So a couple options on texts would be something, I've got 4 options here that you can get. This is free. We're not going to charge you for it. But we want to have 4 different text messages, or maybe even more. You can take these, put them into ChatGPT and say, give me 20 different unique texting messages, because if you send out the same thing over and over and over and over again, you're going to get marked as spam. Even no matter what the message is, the phone carriers, Verizon, Sprint, AT&T are going to recognize that you're spamming people, and that's not what we want to do. So I'm going to give you 4 here, but you can definitely take these 4 and make it 100 different ones if you want. So the first one is, assuming we're going to say the homeowner's name is Bob. Hey Bob, this is David. I came across your property at 123 Main Street and wanted to see if you ever thought about selling it. If so, I'd love to chat. Right? So this is giving them my name, and we're keeping it very short and simple. Remember, these are SMS or text messages that are going to go out. Option number 2 is, hey Bob, this is David. I was looking at the property in your area and I wanted to see if you ever considered selling 123 Main Street. Hey, no pressure, just curious, let me know. Right? Very soft, not a hard sell, very friendly. Option number 3. Hey Bob, I'm buying houses in Chattanooga and I came across your property at 123 Main Street. Would you be open to an offer? If not, no worries. Right? And then option number 4. Hey Bob, this is David. Quick question for you. Do you own the property at 123 Main Street? If so, would you consider selling? Right? So all kind of basically the same thing, but I want to address them by their name, and I want to let them know my name. You could, if you wanted to throw in there, hey Bob, this is David with TriStar House Buyers, you can. That's totally up to you. You can test it and see what your response rate is with and without that. So let's talk about texting. There are definitely platforms out there that you can use to text. CRMs have texting in it. We use Resimply. They have texting ability. We have, you could use a company like Launch Control, and we'll put a link underneath for them as well. They are just a texting platform, and they will actually text for you and send you the leads over. So a couple of different options there if you don't want to do this. For us, since we are starting on a pretty much zero budget, right?
Yep.
We're broke. So we're going to be doing this manually to start. And also understand this, I know that we've talked about this in previous episodes, but if you have not watched those, our goal here is from 0 to 100,000 in 4 months. I think we're about 6 weeks in, so we're running a little behind, so we're going to dial up the gas today. But our goal is to get our first deal. We're going to bootstrap our way to that deal, meaning we're doing it, we're doing all of the things ourselves. So we did the driving, we captured all of the addresses. We're going to manually text, we're going to manually call, and we're going to send out these postcards. And this is the most economical way to do this. However, once we get a deal, now we're going to take probably 100% of that money off of the first deal or very close to that. And now we're going to put that into marketing so that we can start to buy some lists and skip trace them and maybe pay somebody else to do some of this manual work. So just to kind of recap, we're going to start with this text message and then we're going to move into the actual call. So we're going to do this twice. I'm going to call Jonah. He's going to be the seller. We'll just call him Bob. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through the script the way that we have it written here. I'll give you a little bit of commentary as we go, not too much because I just want to keep this smooth and easy so it will feel like you're actually doing this. So, are you ready, Bob?
Yeah,
cool.
Bob's ready.
Cool. All right. So we ring, you answer, say hello.
Hello there.
Hey, Bob, this is David. I know this is a little bit out of the blue, but I was calling about your property over at 123 Main Street. Did I catch you at a bad time?
No, David, I got about 10 minutes to talk.
All right, cool. I don't want to waste a bunch of your time, but I'm looking to buy a couple of properties in your area. Have you ever thought about selling, or would you consider an offer if the price made sense?
No.
No. All right. Hey, man, listen, I totally understand. But before I let you go, do you have any other properties that you might be interested in selling?
Yes, I have 2 of them right now that I'd like to look at selling.
All right, cool. I love that. What can you tell me about those properties? What are the addresses first? Let's start with that.
So one of them is 276 Main Street, and the other one is 384 Main Street. Mm-hmm. Both properties, they're kind of close to each other. They both have... One of them has a really distressed exterior. One of them has a really distressed interior. Mm-hmm. One of them's missing the drywall. One of them's missing the HVAC. And the other one, I just don't have electrical lines ran to.
Okay, cool. We're just going to pause for 1 second. We're going to break the fourth wall here. So we're going to go through this kind of without a ton of objections just to get through it. Also, the seller may or may not give you all of that information. This is pretty good if your seller just starts blurting things out. So that's actually really great. Okay, so let's get back into it. Cool. Well, let me ask you a question about what's got you thinking about selling? Are you looking to, just get out of these deals, get some cash? Tell me a little bit about what's going on and what's with the property.
I just don't want to maintain them and keep investing into them. I'd rather not pay the property tax. So if the deal was right, I wouldn't mind letting them go.
Okay. All right. Well, let's dig in a little bit more on that first property. Tell me a little bit more about it.
So on that first property, I've had it for about 4 years now. Mm-hmm. Purchased it at an auction to rehab, but I haven't put any work into it yet. Mm-hmm. Just haven't gotten around to doing it. By my estimate, may need $15,000-$20,000 worth of work.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you're just guessing on that? Have you had a contractor come through or anything?
No, I haven't had a contractor come through yet. I was just guessing off of
just ballparking off you doing all the work?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you, man, have you had a lot of properties? Do you do a lot of this type of stuff? How'd you get into investing? How'd you get these properties?
I just wanted to get into rehab, and so I went to auction. I bought these 2 properties and tried to get started, but I've just been too busy.
All right, cool. So are these the only 2 that you bought, or did you buy other ones?
No, sir. These are about the only 2 that I bought so far.
Okay. So you bought them, kind of tore them apart, and decided this sucks. It's not that much fun.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Listen, I get it. I've done a ton of rehabs, so 100% understand. Sometimes you get into these, and it's just more money than you thought it would be. Okay, so you're not going to finish them. They're kind of sitting there, and you're looking to sell.
Yeah, if I found time, I might go to finish them. But right now, if the offer's right, I'd be willing to let them go.
All right, cool. Let me ask you this: on a scale of 1 to 10, how quickly would you want to sell them? 1 is whenever, and 10 is I'm ready to get rid of this thing. I've had enough.
I would say about a 6 or a 7.
Okay, all right. Why not a 5?
Because the offer's not there, then I'd rather just wait a little bit more time and then invest in it myself.
All right, cool. Well, what do you think would be a good offer? What do you think would make you want to part ways with this?
Just paying what I got them for at auction.
Yeah.
So getting my money back. If I can make a little bit more on top of it, cool. But I just want to get myself free and clear from them. So first one got for 60. Second one I got for 70. So if we can get in that ballpark range, then I'd be more willing to look.
All right, so 60 and 70, that's 130. So you're saying I could get you maybe over 100,000 and we can get you out of this thing and you can move on with life and not have to worry about it?
That sounds pretty good.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, let's talk about. Tell me about that second one. I just want to make sure I'm giving you a good number here. What, is it kind of in the same condition? Does it need everything?
The interior actually looks pretty decent on it. Like I have like all my drywall in it. I haven't done too much. The plumbing to the septic tank has been disconnected, and there's no electrical lines running to the house.
Oh.
And the outside of the property, haven't gone over there to landscape it in a couple of months.
Okay. So no power running to it. So it sounds like we're gonna have to pull all the permits and get a licensed contractor to do all the work.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that changes it a little bit because that's of course going to be a little bit more expensive. Well, now I can see why you haven't finished these properties.
Yeah, you can see my hassle. You can see my hassle.
Yeah, I get it. These things are, rehabs are. It's like kicking dominoes. You never know what you're going to get. Let me take a quick look here. Let me see what houses like this in this condition are selling for, like in this area, because I want to make sure I'm not shortchanging you, but obviously I don't want to overpay for us either. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So at this point, maybe I'm pulling up, Batch or PropStream or one of the comping services, and I'm going to look it up and see what other similar properties have sold for. Now, I can't always tell what the condition of the property is, but I'm going to look at the properties that sold for the least amount because these properties are in very difficult shape. So, I might jump back on and go, okay, hey, after putting them on a brief hold. All right, Bob, cool, man. Appreciate you hanging out here for just a second. Let me just go through this. So you're 123 Main Street. I've got this one over at 32 Penelope Lane. Looks like it was about in the same condition as yours. Penelope Lane, that's pretty close to you, to this deal, this house?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Okay.
It's a couple streets down.
Yeah, a couple streets away. They had one over there that looks like it's in about the same condition. It sold at $35,000. Let me look at it here. There's another one over on Elm Street, 97 Elm. It sold for a little more. It was in the 40s. And then let's see, this other property, there's one that sold at 20 and, maybe another one that sold at, 35. So what I'm doing here is I'm giving real addresses, real prices, and real time. Like, hey, it sold 3 weeks ago, it sold 2 weeks ago, it sold a month ago, whatever it is. So the what I'm doing here is I'm anchoring the seller very low. I want to give apples and apples. I don't want to try to compare it to a property that's fully rehabbed and sold for $200,000. So I might say, hey, knowing the area like you do to those prices makes sense.
Yeah, that could kind of make sense. Seeing the area and seeing a lot more of the distressed properties.
Okay, Jonah's being very easy to work with here. They're going to either say yes or no. If it's no, they're like, or they may say yes, but I can't sell it for that. And that's okay. But we just want to be talking about what properties in that area are selling for because we don't want to overpay. We don't want to contract these things at $100,000 each because, yeah, we got the contract, great. We're never going to be able to sell it, right? Now we've wasted our time and we've wasted the seller's time. So that's why I like to do, hey, here's what properties in your area are selling for. So, I might come back and say something like, man, Bob, I really would love to buy these properties. I'm looking for a project. Sounds like these are a lot of work. Based on the condition and what other properties are selling for, man, dude, I don't even want to give you an offer. And then I shut up and just wait on him to say something. I don't want to. You could say, I don't want to give you an offer. I don't want to offend you. And now we're going to test their motivation. Right here's where we test the motivation, because
That's smart.
it's like I've done this before. Right. So in a case like this where it's so extreme, because I want to drag that price down. Great. He paid 130, but he way overpaid. He was the idiot at auction that just kept raising his hand. So I'm going to drag this down as low as I can. Be like, geez, Bob, I'd love to do these. I'm definitely looking for a project, but these are a lot of work. I'm going to have to fight with the city. I'm going to have to come out. I'm going to have the power reconnected. Probably the sewer line needs work. I mean, just all of the different things here. So we're going to assume he's like, no, go ahead, just give me a price. And that's going to just, how he says that, how they say that's going to give you some indication of what their motivation is. So let's assume he says, no, go ahead, just give me a number. What's a number that works?
What's the number that works?
Man, again, Bob, I'll be honest, I'm probably, man, in like maybe 60 to 65. I might be able to stretch it to 66,000 for both of them.
Well, David, considering that was half my asking, I might want to try to list with an agent instead.
Yeah, I get it. 100% with an agent, 100%. You might be able to get a little bit more. Just, I don't know if you've ever sold a property with an agent, but you're going to, of course, have to pay the buyer, the buyer's agent, the seller's agent, the closing costs. Who knows how long it's going to take. You're only looking for a cash buyer because nobody can buy these things with a loan. How quick were you looking to get this thing done?
I'd probably still get about the same amount after closing costs and fees and agent fees.
Well,
I want to get this done probably within the next 30, 40 days.
Why don't you just give me a number? Like say, hey, how about, man, could you do 80?
Could you do 85?
80. Ugh, man. I mean, if I look at best case scenario, this other one sold for 32 and this one sold for 40. Those are the two best similar properties that have sold. That's, if we get as optimistic as possible, that puts me at 72. I think I could talk my partner into that if you really want to get rid of these things and just move on.
Can't do 80?
I can't do 80.
All right. Well, talk to your partner. See if you can get it done for 72. I'll talk to the wife about it.
Well, let's do this.
Call you later.
Let's try to wrap this up. Let me just put you on hold. Let me call him up on the other line. You can talk to your wife and give me just like 1 minute.
All right.
Cool. Here's the thing, guys. Kind of a little editing note. If I let him get off the phone, only 50-50 shot I'm going to get him back. So I want to try to do this as much as possible over the phone. Now, I get it. When you're new, this all seems like a lot, and it's okay to, this is why we do the hold feature, which is just putting them on mute on your phone. You can certainly say, hey, I'll give you a call back in an hour, but I promise you a lot of people are going to fall out. But if you're nervous, you're nervous. I get it. Our goal is just to get him on the phone and to get you on the phone. So, but let's say you call back or you come back from the other side of the hold. Cool. Hey, Bob, great news. It was a little bit of a fight. I'm going to have to give up some of my part of this deal for the profit, but if you're willing to sign today, I can get you $72,000.
Yeah, man, where do I have to go to sign?
Cool. You don't have to do anything. If you have a smartphone, we'll sell, or a laptop.
Yeah.
Cool. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot you over a document. It's going to be very easy. If you've ever done DocuSign, you literally just click, and it will sign that contract. That will come back to me. And then what we'll do is we'll get that over to the title company so that we can start all of the paperwork, and we'll get this thing closed just as possible. I'll get you. I know this has been a headache. I'm going back and poking the pain. We'll get this thing, closed out as quick as possible and get you out of this headache.
Alrighty.
All right, cool, man. You're gonna be able to sleep good at night and not have to worry about this stuff anymore.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Stop. So what we'll do is, and we'll go back and we're gonna put into this where we talked about here, like where the pain is, where we're stroking the pleasure, poking the pain, because people make decisions off of pain or pleasure, and so that's how we got to the end. We always tell them what's going to happen next. We're going to send you this contract, and we're going to get the closing title work started. And then, we want to reassure them, hey, this was, you made the right decision and we're going to solve your problem. So we didn't 100% go according to the script, but this is a real call. Like, things are going to go off track a little bit. So we kind of stayed within the framework here, and we got to the end. So cool. We're going to stop it there, and then we'll restart, and Jonah's going to do his side of the script. We're going to switch roles. All right, welcome to part 2 of this video. Here's what we're going to do now. Now we're gonna do a little role reversal. Jonah is going to pretend that he is, or we're gonna practice role play him making the calls. I will be the seller. Again, I'm not gonna throw up a ton of objections just because we want to get through so you can see the framework of a call. I might give him 1 or 2 small, easy ones, but let's go through like a basic call and see what see how it feels going through that script. Again, a script is just a guideline. You can change the words, you can make it a little bit of your own. Do not ever sound like a robot calling somebody, because these people that you're calling probably have been called before. Chances are it was some crappy VA that called them that had broken English or didn't do a good job. I get those calls all the time. That is a waste of money. You're far better off doing these things yourself, especially in the beginning. So let's work through it.
All right. I call, you pick up.
Hey,
Bernie, this is Jonah. I know this is out of the blue, but I was calling about a property I believe you own at 123 Main Street. Did I catch you at a bad time?
No, man. I'm just sitting here watching TV. What's going on?
Okay. I won't waste your time. I'm just looking to buy a couple more properties in the area. Have you ever thought about selling, or would you consider an offer if the price made sense?
Yeah, that property was a rental. It's actually vacant. It needs a little bit of repairs. I really didn't have the money to get it repaired so I could put another tenant in there. So yeah, man, I'd love to sell it if we can get to the right price.
I gotcha. If you wouldn't mind me asking, what's got you thinking about selling instead of putting the repairs in?
Well, I mean, honestly, I've got a couple of rentals that are vacant, and I didn't have the 10-15 grand to throw into it. So I really wasn't thinking about selling it. I just was trying to get the money together to make those repairs or go over and do it myself. But if the price is right, I'm always willing to sell.
I gotcha. I mean, that makes sense. Just so I can get you the right type of offer, what's the condition of the property? Any major repairs or upgrades needed?
Man, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really been over there a whole ton. Last time I was there, the tenant was moving out. It was kind of a mess. I think they've cleaned out most of the stuff, but I know there was a soft spot in the kitchen floor, and it really needed a good coat of paint. It's just a little worn out.
Okay, I gotcha.
Some more questions about the condition.
Any repairs needed to the roof or anything?
So, yeah, that sounds like the question people ask when they don't know what to ask. So soft spot in the kitchen, so that would have latched onto that.
Yeah,
right?
the
Great.
flooring.
Yeah, so like you kind of describe the kitchen, what's going on there. Little kind of editor's note here for you guys. The better questions you ask, you're going to be able to identify the condition of the property better and put the right price on it. Because again, if we contract this too high, it doesn't do any good here. So I would have gone in and I would talk about, and didn't mean to interrupt you, but how do you think it's the floor joists or just the plywood? And they may say, I don't know, but at least gives you some, you may get some information from them. But when I'm doing it, I always just assume the worst. So like, hey, do you think the kitchen cabinets need to be replaced? When you say the walls are a little worn, is it paneling or is it drywall? You're just trying to create a mental picture in your brain of what the property looks like. And one thing I didn't say to you, but you said earlier before we got on the video was, hey, is there a way that you could send me some pictures? That's a really great thing too. So anyways, let's keep going. Yeah, the kitchen had a little soft spot in the floor. But yeah, like I said, it probably needs about 10 or 15 grand.
I gotcha. What else is going on in the kitchen? Is it just like the little soft spot in the floor?
Yeah.
Was there like a water leak or anything?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Probably a little water leak underneath the sink.
Okay, I getcha. How's all the drywall looking throughout the house?
They hung some pictures, so there's some holes and stuff. I think there was a hole kind of behind the door where the doorknob went into the drywall, but I don't think there was anything super major in there.
I gotcha. If you would have time today, probably within like the next 10, 15 minutes, would you care to walk through, take some pictures for me?
Yeah. So here's the way you want to say that. Two things. If you're local, you can say, hey, I'd love to come over and take a look at it. Right? Cool. Because you're always going to do better to have feet on the ground in the property. But the other thing, I think I would go through and ask them more questions about the property. And then, hey, Bernie, let me ask you a question. Do you have a smartphone? Yeah, cool. Because I want to get yeses, right? Yeah, I got a smartphone. Dude, are you anywhere near there? Obviously I'm in Tennessee or in Arkansas. Would it be possible to run through and just take some pictures so that I can give you the highest possible price?
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? See the kind of the little technique in there. I want to.
Yeah.
I want to.
You want to get a lot of yeses.
Yeah,
out of it,
I do
get some
always
more
want to get
engaged.
yeses because the more times people say yes, the more likely they are to do something for you. But then also, if I could get a couple pictures, because I don't want to assume the worst and give you a low offer, and then I can't help you out. Give me some pictures that way I can look at that with my boss and underwriter, and we can make sure we're giving you the most possible.
Gotcha.
See how it is? Even though in reality we want it so we can make an accurate price. So anyways, yeah, maybe you get through all of the, and we'll kind of speed ahead here a little bit, but you're getting that type of stuff, right? Well, was there a lot of trash left?
How's the electric?
Any issues with plumbing or electric, or those seem to be in good shape? Oh, looks like the property was built in 1920. Has it been updated? Or, if it was built in 1965 or after, you should be good. So yeah, just some questions like that. But these things you will get better at the more calls you make, right? The more calls you make and the more pictures you get back from properties, you'll be like, should have asked this question, right? There's just some of this that's learning curve where you'll just get better with repetition.
Gotcha.
Cool. Where were we? Condition. Yeah. Cool. So it makes sense. If I got the right kind of offer. Right. If you got okay, go ahead. Sorry. We're so smooth at this. But this is what real coaching is like, right? We got to stop in the middle and kind of make corrections.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, so I understand a little bit more about the condition. If you do decide to sell, what kind of timeline are you looking at? Like, are you hoping to sell ASAP, or is it more of a down the road thing?
If I'm not going to fix it, I might as well just sell it. If not, I'll just kind of hold it and fix it when I can. But yeah, if we can come to a number, I'm ready to go.
Okay, I got it. Well, I'd love to make an offer that works for you. Have you given any thought to what price you need to make it selling it worthwhile?
Yeah, man. Honestly, on this one, if I could get like $65,000, I'd be pretty happy. I could get out of it. I bought it a while back, so I'd make a couple bucks on it, and I still think that would be a number that's good enough for you to make some money too.
I gotcha. I appreciate you for the knowing kind of about what you want. If you would like, can I put you on a hold for just about maybe 1 to 2 minutes? Let me go talk to my partner and run some numbers, see if I can make that work for you.
Sure.
Gotcha. Alrighty, you still there?
Oh, we're back. Okay. Yes.
Alrighty. So I went and I talked to my partner and everything, and I looked at some of the houses in the neighborhood. There was the 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street, just 2 houses down from you, that sold 2 weeks ago for $55, and then another one 2 streets over on Penelope Street that sold for $34. The one that sold for $34 was more in your condition. Gonna need to go in, remodel the kitchen, had some subflooring issues, a lot of holes in the drywall, older, HC or AC hasn't been updated. The ballpark of the number I'm allowed to go in right now is looking to be about 50, 55. How does that sound?
Yes. I think it's a little lower. I was at 65, you're at 55. If you could split the difference with me and go 60, I might be able to make that work.
Well, I'd love to, but 55 is as much as we're allotted to go at this time.
I got you. All right, well. That's too bad. I think this is a deal where you guys could probably make a lot of money if you have the ability to go in and fix it up.
Well, I got you. I'm going to put you on hold just one more time. I'm going to go talk to my partner, see if I can come back and give you that deal.
Sure.
Hey, Bernie, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I got you. Well, I talked it over, and I feel like 60's fair. I can go up to 60 for you.
Up to 60. Okay, cool. All right. All right, great.
Alrighty. Well, if you got some time, I can go ahead and send you an email of our contract over. You'll just go and tap on it, tap through a couple quick little things, and it'll sign it, send it back over, and we can see how fast we can get this closed.
All right, that sounds great. Send it over.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Okay, a couple of things in there. Whenever we have a saying here, we call it give to get. If I'm ever going to give something, I'm going to get something in return. So this is just a psychological thing where if I give you or you give a seller, if you give them some kind of a concession, you have to get something in return. It's a trade-off of value. Because if not, if you give me 60 and don't extract any kind of pain for it, I'm going to ask you again for something, and I'm going to ask you again, and I'm going to ask you again, right? But if you say, hey, Bernie, I went back and, man, I talked to my partner. You want him to feel that you're really stretching for him. You know, I talked to my partner and I got her to agree to 60. It was a tough sell. I'm going to give up a little bit of my profit on this, but if I can get the 60, you know, are you willing to sign right now? Actually, I probably would have said that before you put me on that second hold. Hey, let me go back and talk to my partner. If I can get her to agree to 60, are you ready to make this happen today? That's the way to do it. If I can get 60, are you ready to sign this contract today, right? That way you can be like, go talk to the partner. Bernie, good news. I was able to make this happen. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah, give to get. Whenever I give something, I want to get something in return. And usually it's speed or some type of an action. You know?
Gotcha.
Good. I think that was a good first shot. You ready to start making some calls?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to record all of these calls. We'll show you some of them. We may not show all, but the reason that we're recording them, and you should be recording your calls as well, is to go back and listen to them, right? So that you don't say something like, I gotcha. You don't want to repeat the same phrases over and over again, because even though in your brain you're not hearing it, the other person does. So, gotcha? You got me?
Yeah.
You got me?
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm just giving Jonah a little bit of shit, but mostly it's for your guys' benefit because we all do the same thing.
It happens.
Yeah, I've watched my videos, and there are plenty of things that I do that are bad things as well. So, cool. Hope you guys got some good value out of this. We will do probably a little either addendum to this episode, or maybe we'll call it episode 5.5, where we'll show Jonah and making some of these calls. And yeah, we're going to work through. And I'm telling you right now, when you make your first calls, they're going to be ugly. They are going to not be good. But you have to make the first call to get to the 100th call. And it's once you start doing 50, 60, 70 calls, you start to get in this thing, get in the groove. You get a little bit more comfortable talking to people. And some of that trepidation and nervousness starts to go away. But I promise you, I had cold sweats before I made my first calls. That's perfectly normal. You are going to be bad at it, but again, you've got to make those calls to get through this. And sometimes people are going to be great. Sometimes people are going to say F you, and sometimes people are just not going to be interested in selling, but that's okay. This is prospecting. We are looking for that 1 in 100, because that 1 in 100 could pay you $20, $25, $30, $40,000. So that is the part of this business that you have to work through to get to the big checks. So we will see you on the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all of the things, and we'll see you on the next episode.